Hello, this is Xbox Ahoy, and this is the 5th episode of my Black Ops Weapon Guide. Let's get started. This time we're covering the first of these sniper rifles, the Dragunov. It's a semi-automatic rifle, and is unlocked as part of one of the default classes at level 2. The Snayperskaya Vintovka Dragunova, or SVD, originates from the Soviet Union. The weapon was introduced in 1963, and has since been manufactured by Izh-evsk Mechanical Works, or IZHMASH. Designed for a designated marksman role, the SVD has seen extensive use by Warsaw Pact nations, normally in a supporting role as part of a squad. Boasting the reliability and ruggedness of the more familiar AK variants, and the accuracy demanded of a marksman's rifle, the Dragunov remains in production today. Magazine capacity is a healthy 10 rounds, making it the highest capacity rifle in its class. The Dragunov fires the venerable Russian service rifle cartridge, as first used in the Mosin Nagant, the 7.62 by 54mm rimmed cartridge. In-game, the Dragunov is capable of dealing one-hit kills to the upper chest, neck and head. When silenced, only the head and neck will yield a one-hit kill. Rate of fire is capped to 235 rounds per minute, despite being a semi-automatic weapon. This is fast enough for most circumstances, but prevents rapid fire as a close-range defense. Recoil is relatively strong, pulling upward and slightly to the right with a slow recovery. Aim speed is correspondingly sluggish, taking 400 milliseconds to scope in, and cannot be sped up through use of Sleight of Hand Pro. Along with the decent capacity, reload times are reasonably quick, just 3 seconds to complete, which for a sniper rifle is more than manageable. The Dragunov comes with its very own scope by default, the PSO-1 telescopic sight, or Pritsel Snaipersky Optichesky, which has a unique chevron reticle and rangefinder. As far as optics go, it's not a bad scope for the weapon. The default zoom level is adequate for most situations. Those preferring a more aggressive approach with the Dragunov might favour the ACOG scope. With its lesser magnification, it's a little easier to use at close ranges. However, the scope can't be steadied, and the sway eliminates your ability to place precise shots at range. Essentially, you lose the prime advantage of the weapon, and gain instead a cumbersome middle-range weapon, a role that one of the assault rifles would suit far better. The long-range scopes are definitely the superior choice with the Dragunov, and the infrared scope is not a bad option for this weapon. Distant enemies are highlighted bright white, useful for picking out concealed foes, although this does come at the cost of definition on target. I'd still recommend it, however. At the ranges you should be employing the Dragunov, the lack of peripheral vision isn't an issue at all. Just bear in mind that Ghost Pro users won't be highlighted. My favourite optic was the variable scope. It resembles the default scope with the familiar chevron reticle, but it comes with 3 zoom levels for close, mid and long-range shots. The ability to change your magnification to a comfortable level for any given position helps increase your versatility, something which the sniper rifles so sorely lack. The increased peripheral vision on the lower zoom can be a boon, as a too narrow field of view can hide an enemy's approach. Equally, the longer zoom can make all the difference over the longest sightlines when positioning the perfect headshot. Extended magazines grant 50% extra capacity, 15 rounds instead of 10. While it's nice to have fewer reloads, 10 rounds is more than sufficient, and the Dragunov has one of the faster reloads within the sniper category, so the extra 5 rounds don't make much of a difference. If absolute stealth is your preference, then the suppressor will keep you off the minimap, but it will hurt the power of your shots, with either a direct head or neck shot needed to ensure a one-hit kill. This will mean you'll require 2 shots to kill more often, and as the recoil of the Dragunov is sufficient to disturb your aim, you're likely to see fewer kills overall. Still, you will remain undetected, so it could help keep you alive, if you're the patient sort. Overall, I'd have to recommend the variable scope for the increase in versatility, although the infrared scope is another interesting choice. A sniper is most effective when they have the luxury of time with which to aim. With the ability to kill in just one shot, remaining undetected is a must. Our first perk choice is a simple one then. Ghost grants immunity from detection by spy planes, allowing you to more easily occupy a position without the enemy being aware of your presence. In cases where you might be flanked or otherwise encounter an enemy in close proximity, Ghost will help you avoid nasty surprises when the enemy has the radar advantage. Even under the cloak of stealth, you'll occasionally need to defend yourself against a close-range attacker, and our second perk choice helps maximise your class's versatility by granting faster switching of weapons. Scout Pro halves the time it takes to swap between your Dragunov and your secondary, and up close a pistol will serve you much better than the sniper rifle. One habit you should get into is swapping out your pistol for another primary as soon as you're able. There are no shortage of competitive assault rifles or SMG littering the battlefield, so swapping out your sidearm for something like a FAMAS or AK-74U is a very wise move indeed. With Scout Pro, you can go from defenseless sniper to close-range powerhouse in a heartbeat. Scout also grants you the ability to hold your breath for twice as long. Nice to have, but it's undoubtedly the pro perk that's more useful. Our final perk helps us to get to sniping positions more quickly. While the snipers aren't effective on the move, frequent but careful repositioning will help keep you alive longer. Marathon rounds out our Scout Sniper class, increasing sprint time and allowing you to evade foes intent on assaulting your position. The ability to quickly flank and outmaneuver the enemy is invaluable. Striking from the side will help avoid direct firefights. While on the move, switching to your secondary is a good idea. As mentioned, ideally you'll pick up another weapon to use when on the move, or as a close-range defense. Not every kill can be with the sniper rifle. To attempt to win a gunfight is all too often futile. Sadly, you can't pack two primaries on spawn in Black Ops, so you'll have to make do with a pistol to begin with. As ever, my favourite is the CZ75 with extended magazines, boasting the longest effective range and capacity of all the pistols. Elect whichever works for you. Just remember to swap it out for a more competitive weapon as soon as you can. As for the rest of your loadout, you'll want to take either the motion sensor or claymore for your equipment slot to serve as another aspect of your close-range defense. I preferred the claymore with a mobile sniper class, as your claymore will remain deadly out of sight, but your motion sensor needs to be picked up and redeployed at each firing location to remain effective. Grenades aren't a major part of the sniper's kit, as ideally you'll be outside throwing range, but I like the tomahawk for the quick throw upon close enemies who take you by surprise. For your tactical grenades, you could either use flash or concussion grenades to slow and ultimately evade attackers, or the decoys to draw unsuspecting folk into your kill zone. Situational awareness is key to effectively choosing a firing location. Some spots are obvious, such as windows and towers, but in practice you can fire effectively from any cover with good sightlines. In fact, it's the less obvious positions from which you'll be able to deal the most damage, although don't expect to stay in one spot for the entire game. Aiming ahead of time is great if you can anticipate an offensive push by the enemy, but don't allow yourself to become blinkered, as danger can come from all angles, not just the narrow view of the scope. The superior capacity of the Dragunov means you can be quite liberal with your use of the trigger, but try not to panic when firing. Waiting an additional moment to ensure your aim is good will end the fight quicker than blindly spraying and hoping for the best. Like all the sniper rifles, the Dragunov is deadly if employed correctly. No other weapon class has the ability to kill in one well-placed shot at any range. By killing in one shot, you effectively deny the enemy a chance to fight back, and with good positioning and frequent relocation, you won't suffer their revenge either. This weapon is tough to use. The level of precision required and the slow aim speed is at odds with the hectic pace of most games, and good positions are hard to come by within the smaller maps. Sniping can be a frustrating affair at times. Without the support of a strong team, and with inconsistent spawns, performing well is a challenge, but is all the more rewarding when it pays off. If your aim is true and your position good, your enemy won't realise they were in your sights, until it's too late. Thanks for watching. This has been Xbox Ahoy. Join me next time when I'll be covering the first handgun, the ASP. Until then, farewell.